That does...
I assert that the one who was murdered was
Are you
Miss
confused about something?
And the murder took
I'm trying. I clicked triangle.
You
have to aim at the phrase.
She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Whatever button you pressed last time to get it to actually shoot. Try it.
I assert that the one who was killed and the murder.
I've definitely been clicking triangle.
Most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise.
You have to shoot it
while
at
she
the
was in
furnace.
bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, it's wrong.
Worked that time? Yeah, I guess. Great. I mean, it worked fine for me when I played.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked.
She didn't ever go in the room.
With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there
Well,
was a
everyone went into
struggle.
the room to drag you out of it, remember? Okay, yeah. She knew about the murder regardless, so she must have saw your room. Right. She just didn't investigate it.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide.
Accurate.
The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Is that
Okay,
summed
so
up?
what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
It is a real trial. What was used to kill Sayaka? Okay. We know it was a knife.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
Yes.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him. How could anyone do something like that? That son of a bitch!
Okay. So it wasn't a random
So
knife.
what was used to kill
There was some kind of sharp, without a doubt.
So the killer used some random knife that...
It wasn't a random knife. It was a kitchen knife.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
She's right. There's got to be a breakthrough somewhere, just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? You can concentrate by holding down the R1 button. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if the gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest, no need to rush. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay. Make your argument. Okay, her account.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret, when nobody was in the dining hall. And then he went and stabbed Sayaka with it.
I shot at it! Oh, clearly you didn't.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, but over to the right, all those little small rectangles show you how many parts of the conversation happen. Where his face is? Yeah, I saw it. I didn't take the kitchen knife, but no matter how many times I repeat myself, you won't believe me. If only there were proof. There is
So I
proof.
guess there's
Maybe
no
open
question
up
that
the
the
options
kitchen
menu
knife is
and
the
see if you
murder
can't
weapon.
change the controls around to help. Aim, silencer is X. I don't even know what that is. Fast forward argument, open, fire truth bullet. That's it. Triangle. You can't change it either, so. L1 to select truth bullet. I don't even know what that is.
But where does that
When you have
get
multiple.
us?
Oh, gotcha.
Kodo must have taken it from the kitchen.
Oh, it should work.
You did it in secret.
Maybe you're not pressing it right now? I don't know.
Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea, I went back into the kitchen to wash my glass. One of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
But who did?
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Kodo are in on it together and lying to protect each other?
Well, then we would be found out. Because you can't get caught. I mean, I know the rulebook doesn't say anything about teams, but if someone else already knows, then... You know what I mean? Yeah.
Idiot swimmer girl! Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer.
Okay, I guess I'll have it answered.
Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
Okay. So, like, assuming that they don't find out who the murderer is, so that means the accomplice will also be killed with the rest of the class. Yeah. Great.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Okay, thanks for spelling it out for us.
Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife.
Fair enough.
So I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife? Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall. No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that? I can.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right. But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room. So, I don't think that's a problem.
No, it shouldn't be. Hence why we switched rooms.
It is a problem! A A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's
They're
unwholesome.
They're both girls.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here. Are you talking about? It was Junko.
Sayaka.
Oh.
She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
So she took the knife.
Maybe she was still looking for a self-defense weapon?
Right. Okay, so like she went into the kitchen looking for a knife for self-defense because she was scared from the person rattling her door. She probably could have dropped her key outside at that point because she would have locked the door behind her and dropped the key outside. Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was Monokuma? No. Hina? No. Sayaka. It would have been Sayaka.
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely,
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
That is true.
That opens us up for suspicion again.
Yeah.
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
What's up with the shaking photos, might I ask?
It's
For dramatic
excitement.
effect. Yeah, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say?
And she seems to be
Because
stirring
you
the
see,
argument into the right
if the
direction.
room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more?
And the Hangman's Gambit.
As things advance further in a class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You'll have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the left stick to aim and press the triangle button to shoot the desired letters. ... If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge?
Yeah.
If this gauge reaches 0, or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck, and
It's
have
like
fun.
a life bar.
Right. Something that should have been at the scene but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. You can just figure out what that something is. Like the hair and shit?
Maybe. Hangman's Gambit.
No, I have to do it in the right order.
Yeah.
That one.
You gotta hit it multiple times.
Hair.
So why did they go to so much trouble to remove hair? When it was clear that they would.
Well, I mean, if it was Mondo, I could tell why.
There wasn't a
That's
single
actually...
hair on the floor.
There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No, because she was left in the room.
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Correct.
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
Struggle getting to the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it is... bathroom doorknob.
I got it!
Triangle's a weird button to
Evidence
use.
that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
There you go.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
Yeah, but the doors in the boys' rooms don't have locks, so I should just be able to open it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
She seems to know what's going on in the case. Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Okay. From here on, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use the truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to point out the real contradiction.
Make your argument.
Bathroom door frame. So that's the topic that we're gonna go over then. That's your
The
truth.
incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Yes.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door.
Wait, why am I here?
Because Sayaka had locked it.
That's it.
No, it's wrong.
Yeah, I'm right on it. Yeah, logic.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck. Huh? What are you talking about? My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yep, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... That's not lucky at all!
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Which further clears the fact that I'm not the one.
Precisely.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
One important detail? I mean, that the door didn't open? Something the killer didn't know. For some reason, they were convinced the door was locked. Which means the important detail the killer didn't know was the crime took place in my room. They thought it was Sayaka's room because someone swapped the signs.
Yep, makes sense.
I got it!
So who
must not have realized that it was my room.
But, like, that means someone was trying to protect Sayaka. It wasn't the killer who swapped the signs. Right. Maybe Sayaka swapped them, thinking that they would go after me instead.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door open.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms? Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
Mr. said he would be mad.
What happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Because if we vote for the wrong person, then, everyone dies.
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so,
We haven't even talked about the sword or anything yet, so...
Well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then, maybe someone picked the lock?
Well, Monokuma said that the locks were extremely difficult to pick.
They were pick-lock proof.
Yeah. Negative! If you
Yep.
remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Ms. Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
The reason why there's no way Sayaka invited her killer into the room I already have the answer. We don't have anything saying that she said she would never open it.
The switching rooms evidence my work.
Oh yeah, we swapped keys.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it, otherwise what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Sayaka. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay? Okay, hold on.
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I'd better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room. Huh? Which means, only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note was written by Sayaka, and she wanted someone to come visit her.
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
Who got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation? What young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Is she gonna say she received the note? Dorm nameplates. Okay. So how am I gonna...
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room. I see.
So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
Come on.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Yep.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right, it would have been Sayaka.
Okay, then who did it?
Me?
gun! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates is Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
Something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure.
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room